Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I come from a conservative Christian family. All my family members were or are involved in the church and have church-based jobs. When they met my wife, they loved her and embraced her as their own. We dated for 2 years and discovered she was pregnant after we got engaged. Invitations were already given at the time, and we decided to still have the wedding on date when my wife was 5 months in. My family were furious when they found out my wife was pregnant. They asked if we, even still, considered having a wedding. I said why not, but they were very upset, especially mom and dad, who said they've always been known for their decency and good Christian values and weren't willing to let this stain their reputation, as in my wife and I getting married while pregnant. They officially dropped out and refused to negotiate, saying it was done, and I have only myself to blame for this outcome and should move the wedding out of town. I was hurt. I tried to change their minds and checked with other members, but my brother said he had no intentions to look like a joke in front of his fellow church members and dropped out. My aunt pretended to be sick and said she may not be able to make it. She's 100% healthy. My cousin said he had a business trip and stopped his wife and kids from attending, and my uncle cussed me out, torn the invitation and kicked me out. I felt terrible, with no family members of my own to support me and share my joy at my wedding. I even broke down crying after the ceremony. I haven't spoken to them for months, and then got busy with my 4-week-old daughter. My cousin reached out to hand me gifts and well wishes for the birth of my daughter sent from my family. I returned everything. He sat with me on behalf of the family, saying I shouldn't have returned gifts that were from my family who want to see and hopefully be involved in my daughter's life. He said, "Mom's longing to meet her grandbaby, and everyone else is wanting to visit soon to celebrate my daughter's life." I asked him this question. I said, wasn't my daughter the reason why the entire lot of them abandoned my wedding? He just stared grudgingly as I went on about how they treated my daughter as something to be ashamed of and hide. My daughter at some point will ask about the wedding, and I have no intentions of lying to her. He replied saying he guaranteed. I got it all wrong, and no matter what goes down between us, I can never deny that my daughter is their granddaughter, niece, etc., and they're her family. He asked that I arrange for them to visit, but I refused. He kept pressing the idea, but I shut him down. My wife says I should let them come, but I still refuse. Not the a-hole OP, but your family are big ones, and your cousin is gaslighting you hard right now. Their love for appearances is more important than supporting you and your wife. If they saw your daughter's conception as something shameful, then they have no right to be a part of her life. It also sets a terrible precedent, and they'll feel that they can drop out of your life anytime you make a decision that displeases them, and then expect to be welcomed back with open arms. They don't get to be your family only when it's convenient for them. Don't let them in. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Keep them away from your daughter. You're right. They are toxic. My friends had a similar thing happen, but they let the family back into his life. He found out years later that the family would pull his daughter aside from when she was about 4 up until she was about 12 or 13 to tell her she was a bastard and a sinner. Awful stuff. He immediately cut off his family again when he found out, but it really effed his daughter up for a while until he got a therapy. I personally think that they reap what they sow. Plain and simple. They dished you as a family member because of your daughter. Now you need to protect her from them. What if they pull this on her? What if she does something they don't like or they consider a stain on their reputation? No, they do not deserve to meet her. They ended that relationship themselves, not you. Good riddance to bad rubbish. I have in-laws who use religion to try to control and shame and judge me. I've walked away and I'm so much happier not being around any of them. So I know where you're coming from. Not the a-hole. Let your family know that like a good Christian, you are willing to forgive, but they have sinned against you and God. Jesus' highest teaching after loving God is to love someone as he loves us, including sinners, non-believers, and enemies. their actions towards you were not about love, but ego and pride. They were more worried about what others might think than simply loving you and your family. Jesus also taught not to judge others. Let them know that you feel that you have done your work to be good with God and have nothing to apologize to them for. Have they? Until they come to you with a genuine apology that admits exactly how they wronged you and sinned against you and your wife, keep them away. Story 2. I, 31 male, am married to my wife Amber, 30 female. We have a daughter, Emma, 7 female. The problem is my wife's best friend Jennifer, 30 female, has a daughter as well, Harper, 7 female. Well, Harper's dad is a lazy sack of crap and refuses to do anything with his daughter. He is the type of guy that brags about how he never changed a diaper. Jennifer and Harper are usually at Amber and my house on the weekends because Harper's dad is drinking and watching sports all weekend. On Saturdays, I normally spend all day with my daughter because I don't see her as much as I want to during the week. However, with Harper being there every Saturday, anything I do with Emma, I have to do with Harper. Take Emma to the zoo. It's Emma, Harper and I. Taught them both how to ride bikes, took them both to dance class, took them both to the kids' salon, and so on. Mother's Day was the last straw. I took them both to dance class Saturday morning. Amber and I also pay for both dance classes because deadbeat won't. On the way home, Emma asked if we could stop to get something for Mom for Mother's Day. I said sure. But then it ended up I had to buy something for Harper to her mom as well. On the way home, I just kept thinking, why am I buying someone else's wife a Mother's Day gift? That's his job. A few days later, because I did not want to ruin Mother's Day, I told my wife that I am tired of raising Harper. Her real father needs to step up. I am tired of it taking away time I get to spend with Emma. She said that Jennifer is a best friend, and we need to be there for Harper. Now she's not speaking to me and sleeping in the guest bedroom. So am I the a-hole? Information: Emma and Harper are best friends. It was my idea to spend Saturday with Emma. I work more during the week, so I want to spend Saturday with Emma and to give my wife a bit of a break. We pay for things because Jennifer's husband thinks it's a waste of money to pay for dance class and Jennifer can't afford to pay by herself. Jennifer and Harper do things with Amber and Emma 1 or 2 times a week together during the weeknights. Update. As for the updates, Amber and I are fine. Her reaction was based on poor word choices by me, poor communication by both of us, and some things I was unaware of at the time. The short version is, things at home were much worse than I was aware of for Jennifer, and my wife had only recently found out how bad things were. Mother's Day was the last straw that broke the camel's back for Jennifer as well. She was raised in a you must stay together for the kids' family. When Harper came to me for a gift, she realized that her daughter did not see her sperm donor as a father, so it was time to get out. Jennifer came to my wife to ask for help leaving because she had no family in the area, and Jennifer does not have the financial resources to leave on her own. So the night my wife was going to ask me if we could help her is when I told her I was tired of raising someone else's kid. That's what caused her reaction. The Saturday after our initial argument, Jennifer did not come over, and Emma went to her grandparents. So the wife and I had a long discussion about what was going on. That's when I found out all the stuff going on with Jennifer. The wife and I decided that Jennifer and Harper can stay with us for the time being. My problem was never with those two. It was that I had to take over for the deadbeat, or deadbeat if you prefer. When we told Emma about this, she was super happy her friend was staying with her. We had a conversation with her that if she wants to have time with either parent without Harper, just let us know, and we do not want her to feel left out of anything. Last weekend, with the help of U-Haul and some friends of mine, we got all of Jennifer's and Harper's stuff and moved it into our house. The good thing is we have a 4-bedroom house, so everyone gets a bedroom. The bad news is my wife's office moved to the basement. Wish me luck. We shall see how this goes. OP, I'm sorry that any of you have been put into this situation. You're a good guy for stepping up. Hopefully Jennifer will be able to get on her own feet soon. Though I suspect that it's going to be a real struggle to get child support out of the sperm donor. One thing that concerns me a little though is whether or not Harper considers you a father figure. It would be great if you all could discuss this so that you can request occasional daddy and daughter outings with just you and your daughter so she doesn't feel neglected or left out. Story 3. My ex broke up with me in January this year, saying he had feelings for his co-worker but had not acted on them yet. A few weeks later, co-worker posted that she had miscarried. Ex was the father, and they had gotten engaged. A couple weeks after that, I realized I was pregnant. It's ex's. I decided to keep it and informed ex. He asked for 50-50 custody, which I've agreed to. I'm currently 6 months pregnant. Ex and co-worker are still engaged. She apologized to me because ex didn't tell her about me, and she broke up with ex for about a month and only got back with him after he apologized to both of us. On the whole, co-worker seems alright, and it's ex I'm mad at because he's lied to both of us. But I'm willing to co-parent with ex because, regardless of my own feelings, he is legally entitled to his child, and I don't want to be one of those co-parents who talks shit about the other one. Just to make it clear about co-worker, she's nice enough, has apologized profusely for the cheating when she didn't even know it was cheating. She refused to get back with him until after he apologized to me. She has experience with kids, she's got a level head and a controlled temper. She's always seemed reasonable, before the baby stuff. I just kind of wish she would take a bit more of a back seat. They messaged me earlier today saying there was something they wanted to discuss. They had picked out names while co-worker was pregnant. Co-worker has had some additional tests that show she's unlikely to ever be able to carry to term. And as I don't intend to have any more children with ex, her impending stepchild is her only chance to name a kid. So they want to use these names for my baby. They've provided a first and middle name for both a boy or a girl. And all the names are sentimental. They've said they want these exact names and aren't willing to let me pick any. I have my own list of names, and I don't really like the ones they've picked. I also have a strong accent that they don't have. And one of the middle names I can't even say correctly. The O sounds like an A when I say it. I responded saying maybe we could come up with some different names together. When they said they had already picked the names, I said maybe we could pick some different names, as is a different baby. And I also told them I can't pronounce any of the names properly, so I would appreciate being able to switch out at least one with my pick. They basically said that I can name the next one because X knows I want multiple kids. But the thing is, there's not really a guarantee I'll have a next one. Then they basically said there's 2 of them and 1 of me, so I'm outvoted. I've responded that I'm carrying this baby, I won't be outvoted, and that I'm officially saying no to all 4 names. While my main issue was only one of them, I reacted in the moment because I don't appreciate being outvoted on my child's name. They've responded calling me unsympathetic and again saying I can name my next one, but this will be their only child. My roommate was watching the conversation as I was having it, and as I sent my last message, she said that it was over the line and I could have a bit more sympathy given their circumstances. Miscarriage and infertility, or at least stuck to just vetoing the one name I can't pronounce instead of all 4. Am I the a-hole? Information. We are planning to get a formal custody arrangement and some sort of parenting agreement that says stuff about faith, schooling and all that. I've made clear there's no way I'm having any kind of informal agreement. This whole thing needs to be done in a legally binding way. We are getting lawyers. The baby will have mine and X's surname. I'm not telling X when I go into labor. I have a friend who's offered to drive me. I'm not in the US and we have the same rules throughout the country. So it doesn't matter if I move anywhere within the country. I will most likely be trying for more than 50-50 custody and getting some form of parental agreement that says what we can and cannot decide on our own. Here's what's most likely going to happen. When I go into labor, I will contact my friend. He will be with me in hospital along with my sister and Nan, depending on a few factors. I will sign the certificate as the mother, write the chosen name, and after I have been discharged, I will arrange for X to go on the certificate as the father. I cannot legally put him on as we were never married. I appreciate everyone's advice, but I have to operate on the basis that ex and coworker will see through the engagement, spend the rest of their lives together, and will both be in my child's life at least until that child is an adult. That means being civil. I can put in boundaries, which I am doing, but I cannot go scorched earth because that is not going to be good for my child. OP, I understand you're trying to be reasonable and fair, but it doesn't seem like your ex and his fiancée are. They both have no power here. This is your body and your child. She has the nerve to think she can name your child. She doesn't get to do that. He left you and he gets no say either. Name the child what you want and use your surname. Get a lawyer pronto and block them. He's a sperm donor. He should be begging you for things, not dictating to you. They took things far when they started to act like you're a surrogate mother instead of the child's mother. Take necessary precautions for the sake of your child before it's too late.